Hello everyone and welcome to Fancy Talk Show from wherever you are watching us from. My name is Fancy Wainaina and I'm your host, and today we have an amazing guest. I want to give her a minute to introduce herself.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Fancy. And my name is Immaculate Ikuta. I am a teacher by profession. I teach in a high school, girls' high school, and I am a mother of two adorable babies. The first one is 9 years old, turning 9 in September, and the second born is turning 5 in September, a boy and a girl.
Thank you. So today, guys, you're going to talk about autism. Autism is a challenge that most of us may be familiar with. And so we will start by Immaculate maybe telling our viewers what autism is.
Okay. So autism is a condition. We don't call it a disease because autism is not a disease. It is just a challenge because these are children who are born differently, who are abled differently, and they are special and adorable children in their own way. And autism is a developmental condition. Mostly the kids who have autism have a problem or a challenge with coordination of how they do things. They have a challenge with their attention. They have a challenge with settling down. Some of them are hyper, so their brain does not coordinate like we don't call them normal people because they are not normal and abnormal, but their brain does not coordinate or function how a normal brain or how a brain is supposed to function. Theirs is not well coordinated. Theirs has so many things run in their mind. They are not programmed in a certain way, like the way we are supposed to, you're supposed to do ABCD, then they do whatever comes into their mind. That is how they are programmed. And these children who have autism, they are very special kids in their own way. They are very adorable kids. They are just love in its own way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you said it's all about the brain structure. So basically, their brain is not structured like the way we can say human beings are.
Yeah.
So there's something that is not coordinating well. Right. So Immaculate, you have an autistic child.
Yes.
So how did you come to know Marcus, right?
Yes, Marcus.
Marcus is autistic. Was he born autistic? Or this is a challenge that developed along his milestones?
Okay, so Marcus was born, it was a C-section delivery. Marcus was born, he was a very normal baby, a very healthy baby, and his milestones developed so well. Actually, when I compare Marcus and the sister, his milestones came so fast compared to the sister. And when Marcus got to 2 years, no, he wasn't even 2 years. He was 1 year and let's say 8 months. Marcus had already developed his speech. He would call everyone in the house by name. He would ask for water. He would ask for food. He would ask for shoes and tell you. He would pick his shoes and tell you, shoes, twende nje. You would send him to bring a cup. You tell him in English, he understands, but you tell him leta kikombe in Kiswahili, he could not understand. So he was a very normal baby. He was doing so well, and then his speech disappeared. His speech disappeared at the age of 2.
So he started speaking at the age of
1 year and around 1 year, 1.5. Let's say I realized between 1.5 to 2 years, he was having the speech. Because this was in 2020 when we had COVID-19. So we were in the house most of the time. Being a teacher, I was in the house. So I noted when I went back to work, that is when his speech disappeared. That is when I noted, but I thought maybe it's because of the effect of me going back to work. I had a relative in the house who also went back to campus, my niece. Then the house girl I had long term also went back to their home. So I got a new nanny. So I thought maybe it is because of those changes that had made him his speech to disappear. So I thought it was something temporal. Then come 2021, I said let me take him to school so that he leaves the house, he mingles with the others, he socializes with the other children. So when I took Marcus to school the whole of 2021, he joined school in May 2021. In 2021, the whole of 2021, Marcus was still in the house because he was 2 years. I didn't get a school to take him because most schools were telling you, because I think after COVID, the schools were crowded. So they were not accepting these kids who are 2 years. So I was told to wait until he was 3. So the whole of his between 2 and 3 years, his toileting had not really advanced. But you know, people would tell you, he's a boy, don't be stressed. Don't compare him to the sister. Boys take time in toileting. Boys take time in their milestones. So I was just okay saying that this is a boy. When he goes to school, he'll catch up. But we were doing our best in toileting. He would go to the potty. He would go for a short call on the potty. He would go for a long call on the potty. At times he would pee on himself. And then at times he would do it the right way. At times he would not do it the right way. So I think that is when now the coordination was having a challenge. Sometimes he's okay. Sometimes he's not. Yes. So I thought it's just normal.
So back in your mind, you thought he has been affected by the fact that now he's having an unfamiliar face. Because you've brought in the nanny, a new nanny.
Yeah.
You've gone back to work. Your niece has gone back to campus. So basically, Marcus, basically Marcus have been left with an unfamiliar face.
Yes.
So to you, that's what you'll quickly think he'll adapt because I mean, this kid already had a milestone.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't go back to where it was.
Yes.
So apart from the speech, what else did you notice?
Apart from the speech, I noticed Marcus would not respond to his name. You would call him, he would, you think he's ignoring you. That's what I thought. Because I remember there's a friend of mine who visited me and he tried calling him Marcus, saying hi to Marcus. Then she told me, we just joked about it. She told me, hey, and Marcus can really ignore someone. Then I told her, if his attention or his mind is not there,
You thought he's just snobbing.
Snobbing.
Yeah.
Then we laughed it off. We said, this is just terrible too.
Yeah.
So that's the ignoring part. Then we didn't know it was him not responding to greetings, him not responding to his name. I thought it was him not taking instructions. You would tell him to do something, you tell him to sit down, he would not take instructions. Those are the other things I had noted. Then another thing, he was hyper. Nowadays is when I look back and I realize, this boy was hyper. Because he would not watch TV while sitting. He would watch TV while standing. He would jump up and down the house, running up and down the house. So that is the other bit that I had noted apart from the speech now.
So the cognitive part of the brain is what gets affected.
Affected, yes.
Are there kids who are born with autism from day one?
Yeah, there are kids who are born with autism from day one because autism can develop in 3 ways. There are those who are born with it. There are those who are born with it. Either it is genetical or they now acquire it through challenges. Maybe the mother had challenges during the pregnancy. Or maybe during delivery. Normal delivery. Yes. Then there are those who will get autism along the way, it will now come.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe now they will, maybe the child fell down, or maybe the child was under certain medication, or maybe now there are those who just develop it afterwards. And mostly it develops between the age of 2 and 3. Then there are now those who get it because it is genetically acquired. Maybe someone in their generation had autism. It cannot be a father or a mother or an auntie or an uncle. It can even be a grandparent.
It can be a distant.
A distant, yes.
But as long as it runs in the genetics. Right.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to seek or to take him for screening?
Yes.
What really pushed you?
So when Marcus joined school, he joined school in 2022, May. That was now the first term because of the changes of the term dates.
By now he's 3.
He's already 3. He was now 3.5 at that time. So he joined school in, I remember the term was beginning towards end of April. But now being a new class, baby class, now they had to join a week after others reported. So I took Marcus to school. He was so excited about school. He loves the school bus a lot. So he was so excited. I took him to school. So taking Marcus to school, I thought now this boy has gone to school. He'll adjust well. He'll pick up well the other milestones. He'll be okay. The speech will automatically come just like the sisters did. But I took Marcus to school. I noted first time went, he had not developed his speech. I remember even sharing with a certain cousin of mine who told me, don't stress yourself. Even me, my son developed speech at 4 years. So I told myself, let me give myself time. He will adjust. Then Marcus would not do his homework. He would not sit still and do his homework. You would sit with him doing homework. You call him. You put for him songs. The I am coloring songs for Cocomelon. Children holding crayons and stuff. He will just sit there, hold a crayon. Then because he cannot concentrate for long, he would just leave you there and go and play. Yeah. So I told myself, this boy will improve, he will adjust. So in school, I remember there's a time in second term, the teacher called, when I went for the meeting, the teacher asked me, does Marcus sit still at home? I told him, by the way, he doesn't. He's always up and down. So I asked him, what about in school? He told me in class, Marcus also does not sit still. So for me to teach, I have to give him, because he told me, I've noted he loves colorful things. So I'll give him colorful toys, colorful crayons. Then I give him, he goes to the chart, he tries to match the colors. He told me one thing he's noticed about Marcus, he's very neat, very organized. He organizes things, he arranges stuff. And I noted something at home, even when you've put your shoes, you've just left them like that. Marcus will come and arrange the shoes according to designs. So
there's an essence of
perfectionist in them. Then he will, say for example, like the doormat has folded on one corner. He will come and spread it nicely. I had noted that aspect. I just thought maybe it's because I'm also organized. I thought maybe it runs in the, he has picked it. It runs in the blood, because also the sister has that organization also. So and now in third term, he would not do his homework. He would not learn with the others the same. So the others were ahead. He would not even, Marcus would not say his name. You'd expect a child has gone to school, it's third term, he can say, I am Marcus.
So it's like he's deteriorating.
Deteriorating, yes. He would not say, I am Marcus. He would not say, I am a boy. But he would really love school. He would see a school bag. He would not be able to identify, this is a school bag, this is a book, this is this. But at some point, I remember I had a conversation with my dad. And my dad asked me, has Marcus started speaking? I told him, not yet, he hasn't. So my dad told me, I think you need, Marcus might be having a problem because he has delayed speech. So I felt, okay, I felt bad Because you see, no parent wants to accept or admit that my child has a challenge.
So we can say you would actually feel there's a challenge.
Yes.
But you were just afraid to face this challenge.
This challenge,
That is the fear of every mother, every parent out there. Yeah.
You don't want to admit my child. No mother wants to.
Denial, totally.
Yes, denial. You don't want to admit that.
You want to hold into hope.
Into hope. You don't want to admit that I can never have a special child.
Yeah.
So in third term, they opened school in third term. It was 2 weeks into the term. Then I remember the teacher, I had fears. I remember even when they opened school, I told the teacher, Marcus's teacher, that I will come, I'll book for an appointment, I'll create time, I come and see you, we discuss about Marcus, how we can help him, because I noted when they close school, he comes home, his books, class books, he has done nothing. So I told the teacher, I'll come and see you.
No, before you proceed, when your dad pointed out, did you seek help?
I didn't seek help at that time.
You still holding into the denial?
Into the denial part. But I was like, what if he has a problem? What if I told myself,
it's just a
delayed milestone. You still talk to your friends. They're like, wait for him to get to 4 years. Boys are like that. Boys are not as quick as girls. Don't compare to your girl.
Inside you're broken.
I'm broken. I'm like, I wish to have a conversation. You see, when the sister longs to have a conversation with his brother. Then on one Monday, the teacher called me. This day I remember Marcus had not gone to school because he had flu. So he had flu, he had fever. So he was in the house. I was at work. So I remember the teacher called me on Monday morning asking me, because I had sent her a text telling her that Marcus is not feeling well. He won't be able to come to school. So the teacher called me and asked me, Mama Marcus, how are you? I can see Marcus is not in school, but I've seen your text. I told her yes, he's not been feeling well. So she told me, I wanted you to come to school. You talk to our special needs teacher. So when I had...
How did you feel at that point? Were you prepared, this could be it, or you are still in denial?
I was in denial, but when I had the special needs, I was like, my fears have now been confirmed.
Yeah.
I just asked her, is she saying that Marcus has a challenge? Could it be that Marcus has a challenge? That's what I asked her. So she told me, I don't want to have this conversation over the phone. I don't want to have this conversation with you. That's why I want you to come. You hear it from her. Let her explain it to you.
Sure.
Yeah. So I told her it's okay. So I told her, let me find, because I remember we were having exams in school at that time. I told her, I'm even supposed to be invigilating exams, but let me find someone to stand in for me. I think I was even on duty. So I told her, let me find someone to stand in for me. I come. So I remember when I hung up the phone, I shed a tear. I had gone to pick the phone call in the field. I shed a tear. Then I told myself, brace yourself.
Yeah.
I went, I found someone to stand in for me at work. I didn't even go to our principal to ask for permission. I just sent her a text. I requested for an Uber and I went to school. Immediately. So I remember when I was in the Uber, I just called my mom. I told her what the teachers told me. I remember telling my mom. Now that time I was going through some challenges in my life. So I remember asking my mom, why is God giving me so much trouble to handle? I'm going through other issues, then this is presenting itself. I was crying. So I remember her telling me, don't worry, God cannot give you what you cannot handle. He will give you the grace and the strength to go through it. You cry, wipe your tears, go in and see the teacher and hear what they have to tell you.
Yeah.
And she told me, look at it positively. God has sent them to identify you may be having a challenge. So just go listen, then see how you can help the child. Yeah. Because I remember I called my mom and I called a special, a close friend of mine. So I went to school, we went to the boardroom, the teacher came and Marcus's teacher and now the special needs teacher. And then now they introduced themselves. Then she told me, I want you to hear from the teacher, because I've noted that Marcus, in the class, they were around almost 30 students. So she explained to me, in their class, there are 2 students who would not speak, but the other one would at least take instructions, would at least concentrate, sit and learn with the others, would coordinate things. So she told me it's only Marcus now who cannot learn with the others, who cannot sit still, who cannot coordinate ABCD, who cannot do or move as the others. Yeah, so she told me that's when she realized Marcus might be having a challenge. So she told me she called the special needs teacher to sit with Marcus, and she sat with Marcus for like 2 hours, and she saw this child has a challenge.
So the special needs teacher was able to identify.
Yes, she was able to identify, and she told me she has identified that Marcus, 1, he would not sit still for long. 2, Marcus would not take instructions. He was very hyper. Then she told me the first test she did is to confirm whether his hearing and his speech are okay. So she told me, at least I dropped a key. The test they do is they drop a key. So when she dropped a key or hitting a metallic stuff on a glass,
something that will give noise.
Yes, that will make a sharp noise. So when she did that, she saw Marcus had. So that's when she told herself, Marcus has hearing, his hearing is okay. So it's the speech part. So the speech and the coordination now, the speech and the coordination of the brain. Yes. So she told me also Marcus would not hold a pen. So she was saying that Marcus has a problem with his fine motor. Yeah. Okay. Then that's when she told me, now what I'd advise you to do is you seek help, because he's still young. He had not turned 4. He was about to turn 4 years. So she told me it was only a month to him turning 4. So she told me seek help because he's young and he can be helped. Okay. So she told me what we do is we book for an assessment. We book for an assessment at Kise or either Kenyatta. Then when he's assessed, that's when now you can be advised what to do. You can now walk the journey with him.
What was going through your mind at this point, now that it has been confirmed? And from what you've told us before, these are things that you had identified already.
Yeah.
But you were still holding on to, just like any other person, you know, my kid will be well, it's just a delayed milestone.
Yeah.
So at that point that you hear from a professional, you being a teacher as well,
yeah,
what did you feel at that point?
At that point, I felt despair. At that point, I told myself, I thank God for them identifying. I had mixed, in short, I had mixed emotions. Let me see. So I had some despair in me, but then I told myself, it's good that this challenge has been identified. This challenge has come up when the boy is still young, and at least I have people who have identified he has a challenge, so we can be able to handle it, to walk the journey together, and to be able to see how I can assist the child. So I braced myself and I told myself, I have been through some challenges before, and I told myself the same way in 2020 his dad had COVID and he was in the ICU. So I reminded myself, if God healed his dad from the ICU, what can he not do? And this is just a child. This is an angel. It's not his liking, whatever is going through. whatever he's going through, whatever he's facing. So I told myself, it's okay, let me just accept.
Okay.
Yeah, so I asked the teacher, what can we do? So she was even amazed. She told me, one thing, I'm happy you have accepted it, because so many parents have a challenge in accepting. So, and yeah, that's very good. Now we will book for an assessment. So she asked me, can I book or will you book? I told her, if you can book and we are given an assessment earlier, I'm okay.
Yeah.
For as long as we just assist the child.
So you settled to go to Kenyatta or to Kise?
So we settled to go to Kise because Kise was close to their school.
Kise is in Kasarani,
Kasarani,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, at that time I was living in Kasarani. So Kise was close to where I was living. Kise was close to their school. So I settled on Kise.
Okay.
Yeah, so she did the booking as the school. And at least they followed up and we were given an earlier date. But I kept on persisting because when we booked, we were told the assessment can even take up to 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that means we are short of facilities.
Facilities, yes.
For autistic children.
Yeah.
By the way, does autism get into adults or it's only kids?
Autism is only it starts at childhood.
So there's no way you can get it in the adulthood?
No, you cannot get it in the adulthood.
Yeah.
But if people show signs of being autistic at adulthood,
okay,
but then they had it at childhood,
and
but
one realized.
Yes.
But then it means then they were not extreme.
Extreme, yes. And again, autism in boys tends to be mild compared to autism in girls.
Really?
Yes.
So it gets more intense
in girls. It is more intense and more severe in girls. Because when I have noted during this journey, when we go for therapy, you will see an autistic girl who is almost the same age as Marcus. Now when we interact parents there, you see an autistic girl, and I compare with now an autistic boy. You see, if it's an autistic girl, they are extremely hyper. Hyper. But the girls, it is like, it is rare in girls, but it is more in boys.
Okay.
But if you find girls who are autistic, it is now extreme.
Does autism have like different spectrums, or it's just a common disorder?
Autism has different spectrums, because you might find kids who are autistic, and you might find a kid who is autistic and has speech, but is very hyper. You might find a child who is autistic who does not have speech and is hyper and does not coordinate in class. You might find one who is also very severe. They do not know when to say, I am full. They do not know when they are full, they are supposed to stop eating.
Oh, the expression.
The expression. So they just continue eating. So it is you as an adult to stop them from eating. There are those who, they do not know even this clothing is to be worn where.
Okay.
They cannot identify. There are those who, when they go to the toilet, they'll take off all their clothes. They are going to sit on the toilet or on the potty, but you find them even taking off the t-shirt, taking off the vest, they take off the trouser.
Because to them it's just registered, I've gone to the toilet, I should undress.
Yes.
But not to which limits.
Not to which limits.
Oh.
Yeah. There are those, so it is that wide. And then there's those also who are autistic and their hearing is kind of impaired.
Okay.
Yeah.